Okay, so we have ourselves the bomb. Frege going out here and tweeting out 3 very simple words. Nick Ehlers, Carolina. This was literally posted 4 minutes ago, and I'm going out here refreshing like crazy, trying to think about the contract and what these numbers could entail. So, you know what, Nick Ehlers, heading over to Carolina, we'll dive into the deal itself later in the video. I also wanted to talk about the Rangers, because they made themselves a really interesting signing today. Do I want to split it half-half, or do we talk about Ehlers first, and then the Rangers second, and then the Ehlers contract third, when that comes out? You know what, let's shift gears here. I'll have this open in the background, refresh and refresh, just wait and see what the Ehlers contract is going to be. In the meantime, I wanted to talk about this New York Rangers signing here too. Because the Rangers, earlier today, had agreed to terms with forward Trey Fix-Wolansky on a 1-year contract. Welcome to New York, Trey. And, I don't know, is it me, or is this picture that they used of the guy kind of like squished a little bit? I don't know, maybe my perception of images is just kind of off today. But the Rangers ended up signing this guy whom I have been a very big prospect fan of the past few years. Trey Fix-Wolansky is nothing to write absolutely home about unless you are a diehard AHL fan. 26 years old, 5'7", 194, right-handed right wing, drafted by Columbus in the 7th round of the 2018 NHL Entry Draft, 204th overall. That is a small body, ladies and gentlemen, and I only say that because he's 5'7". The guy's 194 pounds, so he definitely has some chonkiness to him and his profile. Initially drafted in 2018 out of the Edmonton Oil Kings system, this guy was an absolute stud. He was drafted late because he was an overage prospect and he was, of course, 5'7". Over the next few years, though, Trey Fix-Wolansky ended up becoming a total stud in the Oil Kings organization, 100-point season in 65 games played, and an inevitable AHL stud, posting up AHL seasons of 26, 33, and 71 points. This is what led to him getting himself an NHL contract gig and a few cups of coffee here and there. 6 games with the Blue Jackets in 21-22, scoring his first NHL goal, 9 games with the Blue Jackets in 22-23, 11 games with the Blue Jackets in 23-24, plus back-to-back 60-point seasons with the Cleveland Monsters in the AHL. Make no mistake about it, Trey Fix-Wolansky is an offensive dynamo who just hasn't been able to crack that next level of play just yet. Of course, should he stay in the Hartford Wolfpack organization for 2025-2026, he will be a top-tier point producer. It is a guaranteed. This guy has been so good in the AHL, and ultimately you're just kind of hoping that he's able to take that next step and translate that effectiveness to the NHL in maybe a bottom 6 kind of versatile grinder and point scoring kind of role. It's just not guaranteed that he's able to do that. Now, the Hartford Wolfpack do have some guys that I do think are going to be interesting to pay attention to. Derek Pouliot is probably the most interesting one, although, of course, he's not really point-scoring forward here. But the Wolfpack can stand to use some point-per-game, 60-plus point caliber guys. They did just lose out on Alex Belzile. He had signed in Montreal. Bo Gruel is also gone, too, so the Hartford Wolfpack are getting a pretty good boost with Trey Fix-Wolansky into the mix here. And is there a detailed report on the contract number? Okay, 1-year contract. That's all it says here on the New York Rangers website. But I wanted to make this video with Fix-Wolansky's name into it because I do think that he is one of the more underrated prospect signings to have gone to a new team. I do think the Rangers have a pretty decent amount of value in this player here. He's not Maxim Shabanov, but he'll do. At least in terms of the AHL team, at the very least. Now, with that in mind, let's go back over onto Twitter and try to refresh here. Nick Ehlers, what is the dollar amount? Okay, $8.5 million a year, 6 years long. Nice. That is absolutely nice. The suspected frontrunner for weeks ends up sealing the deal. Nick Ehlers is coming to Carolina. Solid deal. The AAV is a touch high, but still within reason, according to AFP Analytics, who had projected Nick Ehlers to getting an $8.1 million AAV deal over 6 years. His real dollar amount is $8.5 million a year, till he's 35 years old. This is not bad, all things considered. When you think about the rising cap and you think about the fact that Nick Ehlers has been a very solid point-producing machine the past few years, 29 years old, 6 feet, 172, left-handed guy, drafted 9th overall by Winnipeg back in the 2014 NHL Entry Draft, Nick Ehlers posted up 63 points in 69 games this most recent season. He had more points despite playing fewer games compared to 2 seasons ago. And this was a career high year, I believe. Nope, it wasn't. He had a 64-point year in 82 games in 2016-17. Ehlers has just been one of the most consistent and versatile, quick, speedy goal scorers and wingers in the National Hockey League the past few years. So the fact that he went for a big dollar amount like $8.5 million, not surprising. Going over to a team like Carolina that already boasts the likes of Logan Stankoven, who had signed earlier in the week, who have guys like Sebastian Aho, you have Svechnikov there still. There's a lot of versatility and speed with that Hurricane squad. I'm just thinking, man, Seth Jarvis and Ehlers on the same line, it's going to be absolutely disgusting. These guys can create offense. These guys follow Brendan Moore's path to a T, and there's just that sort of speedy hockey that goes on in Carolina, that unrelenting, non-stop style of hockey that I think Ehlers is going to mesh with very, very well. So I think the dollar amount, the AAV, it's pretty appropriate here, considering the fact that he was a UFA. I mean, we didn't really see too many UFAs swapping teams compared to normal, so it's nice to get at least one blockbuster move on the books here. And with the signing of K'Andre Miller as well, I mean, the Hurricanes are just cooking with the guys that they want on their team. We might be looking at a brand new Hurricane squad heading into the 25-26 season. Hopefully they don't get eliminated in the 3rd round again, like they always seem to be at this stage. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below either way. How do you feel, firstly, about Trey Fix-Wolansky, underrated prospect signing with the New York Rangers? And how do you feel about Nick Ehlers getting himself that 6-year deal, $8.5 million a year with the Carolina Hurricanes? I mean, nobody's really going out there and talking about how this is, like, amazing, but pretty decent deal. Yeah, there you go. Canes get a much-needed top 6 winger. Steele, injury-prone 29-year-old whose career high is 64 points. Yeah, that's really cynical. I mean, it's fine. The Hurricanes ended up losing out on Gensel and Rantanen, so they needed at least somebody to head over to their team and commit to them. They had themselves that in Stankoven. Now they have that in Ehlers. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sign on, and bye.